Wyatt, wake up, brother, wake up. I blinked open my eyes, the world coming into sharp focus for a second before blurring back out. My head ached, my eyes shutting once again. What the hell happened? That was my question to you, Brooks said. I hadn't realized I spoke aloud until I heard my brother's reply, and the worry laced through his tone. Yes, you're still speaking aloud and not slurring, so I guess you don't have a concussion. Or maybe you do, and since I'm not a doctor, I should stop trying to diagnose you. Can you open your eyes for me? Come on, I'm going to get someone to call an ambulance. I shook my head, not wanting to deal with an ambulance, and immediately groaned, clutching my temples. Okay, note to self, don't shake your head. Brooks mumbled something under his breath that I couldn't hear over the scrabbling of somebody else entering the bar. That's right, I was in my bar, the one that I owned with my family. I slowly sat up, my eyes opening again to see my older brother Brooks kneeling in front of me, holding out his hands. Okay, take it easy. You want to tell us what happened? I winced as I put my hand on my ribs and cursed. I don't know. Someone came at me from behind, hit me in the head, but I think I blocked it partially, I asked, and then looked down at the newly forming bruise on my forearm. I don't think it's broken, but that's going to hurt if it's already bruising. And you touched your ribs, too. He got you there? I think a kick, I asked. Are you asking us, or do you know? My other brother Ridge said as he frowned, phone in hand. I called 911. They're sending an ambulance and the police because somebody attacked you on our property. I sighed at Ridge's words, but knew he was right. He and Trace were in charge of security on the Wilder property. Our family owned and operated it, but we all took our jobs seriously. Ridge had to protect the entire property, all the guests on the resort, winery, and distillery, and keep us organized. He was going to blame himself for this, just like I blamed myself. Of course, before I could do that, I had to get my head back to its original size and stop seeing double.
I didn't want to hate my job, but as hard as I tried, I couldn't help it. I had put myself into this situation. I was just going to have to deal with it. Sure, I probably should have finished college, and I probably should have picked a career other than being Aaron's wife. But there was no going back. Everything was fine. If I kept telling myself that, I was totally going to believe it at some point. It wasn't that I hated working. I had wanted to work full-time and in a career of my choosing for all of my 20s. However, doing part-time jobs while married and raising Faith had been enough for me because I'd had as much time with my daughter as possible. I couldn't believe I had an 8-year-old. A loud, hyper, brilliant, and so full of energy 8-year-old. We were doing 3rd grade math, 3rd grade reading, and 3rd grade everything. She was a bright spot in my life and was always in need of a hug because she was that much of a mama's girl. And sometimes Faith cried herself to sleep at night because she missed her daddy. While that cut at my heart with its sharp talons of self-hatred, I couldn't help but wonder exactly what she was missing. Since Aaron hadn't truly been there for his daughter for longer than we had been divorced. I hadn't realized what we could have had until I was able to step back and look at what I thought marriage was. Having your husband cheat on you with one of your only adult friends and then leaving you before you had a chance to break it off just cemented the fact that I, Ava London, didn't have a great track record when it came to men or good decisions. Hence why, when I dropped out of college because I got pregnant with Faith, I had no backup plan. Now I was working 2 jobs. Today was the job I hated more than anything, but gave me decent hours. When they had them. I stood in an old-fashioned diner, complete with plastic bar stools, checkered mats, wearing a baby blue dress uniform with a white starched apron, and had to handwrite all my orders.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.